mean, I would say my healthy habits going into chemo were really the lifesaver for me. I mean, there's endless amount of evidence that proves exercise and nutrition can be weaponized to help cancer patients get closer to remission and less likely to have a recurrence.
Mm.
And so it wasn't as obvious to me how beneficial my exercise and nutrition was until I had a really difficult moment with my doctor. So I continued exercising as much as I could throughout treatment. And some days were better than others. Some days were really god awful bad, where maybe I did nothing, or I did stretching in the shower, or I was stuck in bed and I would do leg lifts and stretches and so forth in the bed. And those are the things I promote in my books. But I had gotten to my sixth round of the very mean chemo. So my first six rounds were the worst chemo they give to anybody is what I've been told. And then the next 15 were still mean, but less mean. And so I was going in for mean chemo number six. And, chemo number one is nerve wracking because you don't know what to expect, right? There's a whole bunch of possibilities and you're just not sure how it's going to go. Well, once you've experienced chemo number one, you know that number two is going to be equal or worse, three equal or worse. It's cumulative. The effects just keep piling up. And so when I went into mean chemo number six, I was a bit nervous. I was, again, bald and gray, and everything, my fingernails were ripping off. Everything was going wrong. So I was kind of nervous, and I sit down in the exam room with my oncologist, which was the rule. He would see me, and then they'd do some blood tests, and then if I was good to go, they would let me have treatment. And he said, "Fitz, I am so proud of you. You are doing so great." And I said, "What? I am not doing great. Every ounce of my body has been destroyed. I am not doing great." He goes, "No, you've been doing so well. I'm so proud." And I said, "Dr. Gordon, I don't know why you're saying that. I'm a catastrophe." He said, "Fitz, I'm not suggesting you haven't suffered greatly. I know you have." He said, "However, if you were not so healthy and fit coming into this nonsense, you likely would have spent more than just that one night in the hospital." And I did have one night. He said, "You likely would have been in the hospital for a month. I'm giving you the meanest chemo that I give anybody, and you haven't been hospitalized for a month. You haven't had a feeding tube. You haven't had all of these things many of my patients have because they haven't taken care of their bodies. Instead, you have been traveling around the country, race announcing and speaking to thousands of people. So I'm not saying you haven't suffered, but because of your stature with health and fitness, you have done incredibly well. It's been incredibly impressive." And that's where that light bulb moment went off. And I thought, "Oh, dummy, you've been spending your whole life knowing that this health and fitness thing is so beneficial for all of these reasons. And when it matters most to you, you weren't able to understand its impact." And once he said that, I went, "Oh, I get it." So I did. I continued just doing whatever I could when I could throughout treatment. Once I got done with the mean chemo and surgery, I was able to start making progress. Up until that point, it was all loss, losing weight, losing strength, and so forth. And then I would take baby steps. It was very, very slight at first. I didn't compare myself to who I used to be. I just decided, okay, I'm the fitness expert who can do little more than walk in the pool. And that's okay because I'm compassionate. I've been through a lot. I'm going through a lot. So today I'm just going to walk back and forth in the pool, and that's going to be it for me. And then, I was swinging around the light dumbbells. I was a heavy lifter pre-cancer, and then it knocked down a lot of my strength. I had to lift the baby weights and get back up, build back up. So it was a very gradual progression. And I'm so glad that I'm a fitness expert because when I was at the point where my mom said, "You need to eat. You look like you're in the Holocaust." And I said, "I know." Like I was that skeletal, bald little weakling. Uh, I knew how to rebuild my body. I knew how to go from point A to, greatness, to the Boston Marathon, which I ran a little over a year and a half later. Um, but all the people who don't know, and that's why I wrote the books. That's why I wrote Your Healthy Cancer Comeback and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal and my Noisy Cancer Comeback, is because I thought, well, I've made some really good decisions that have really benefited me. And thank goodness I do what I do. And I was able to manage this, but not everybody is. And there's so many people that are just They are knocked down by cancer and its treatment. They are stomped on. They don't know how to get up. They certainly don't know how to exercise again. So I'm thrilled to be able to help that population do better and be better.